Surveillance footage shows a silver SUV circling a building. Then it pulls up beside a car filled with people. A single shot is fired. Janice Nyarko, sitting in the back, is hit and later dies in hospital.
It does look like the characteristics of street gang subculture, where you do a couple of drive-bys and then you are usually in your rivalry neighborhood.
A brazen attack that seems no longer rare in Toronto. Shootings in the city are up about 20% from 2017, though police say there's no reason to be alarmed. Last week, they carried out a blitz on one street gang, resulting in 75 arrests and the seizure of 78 guns.
The guns were destined to become crime guns in Toronto and the GTA. This represents the largest single seizure of crime guns in the history of the Toronto Police Service.
In response to this weekend's violence, today the mayor made a vow.
We are going to root these people out, gang by gang, neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block, and that's exactly what the police service is doing. I think they proved that last week, and we're going to get these people off the streets.
Some say the gun culture in parts of Toronto has become deeply ingrained. Easy solutions, elusive. The CBC's Salima Shivji now with a community activist's street-level view.
It's the only option for them because that's all they see, that's all they know.
Louis March has been walking these streets, talking to young people at risk for years. The community activist who works to get guns out of the hands of teenagers has heard countless stories about the draw of guns and gangs.
When they tell you that it's easier for them to get a gun than a job, that's an indictment against we as a society.
March says this gang violence is different than in 2005, during Toronto's so-called Summer of the Gun, when more than 50 people were gunned down. For starters, he says today there are more guns that are way more powerful.
There used to be 1 and 2 guns in a community. There used to be a gunman in the community, and he would take care of business. Now everybody has their own gun.
And he says the pull of the gang starts younger. Teenagers swayed by images of guns and glory on social media, leading to more brazen shootings in playgrounds and parking lots. It's a change from what he used to hear from gang members.
They had codes. They had rules in terms of firing a gun, where, who, and so on and so on. The young people today don't have those codes anymore.
There is no simple solution, but he says what the mayor is proposing won't work.
Adding 200 police officers is just an indication that the mayor doesn't really understand the complexity of this problem and what needs to be done.
He'd like to see a forum much bigger than this one this past weekend for city officials to listen to those working and living in communities at risk as they carve out a made-in-Toronto solution to a very complex problem. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Toronto.